Hi folks, thanks for being a client. Now I'm going to explain how to actually put into practice the concepts we talked about in our illustration of the process. So, we talked about there being a sea of fish and there's this is the community, alright? And they're just the people in town that are going to be your customers. Then there are all these media channels available to us, like Google, Facebook, foot traffic, open table, your autoresponders, which is your estuary. Once they enter your estuary, you're adding them to your database of customers and your customer relationship manager software, which is the earbud being installed in their brain, so when they're off in La La Land, they still hear about your restaurant and get reminded about your daily special or your incentive of the day to come back into your estuary and exchange with you. Now, these smaller rivers we've mentioned being the search network. So is your Google registration listing done? Have you completed Google My Business? Is your website, phone number, and address verified with Google? This will increase your rankings in the search engine. Also, something called citations, which is the number of times your restaurant has been mentioned by reputable sources online. A mentioning online is a citation which Google checks and then says, okay, enough reputable sources are mentioning this person, so let's increase his ranking in the search positions. Now, you can bid on it within the search network if you want to enlist a Google partner and a Google Premier partner who is someone that has to have at least 10K in ads in the last 90 days, and they've got a rating system, so they're very particular about what qualified people become a Google partner and Premier partner. The local guide function is like Yelp but on steroids. So it's got an exponential audience compared to Yelp, and you don't have to pay for it. It's the local guide function is within Google Maps, and it's where people can leave reviews about your business locally. So when tourists come in or anybody comes in on Google Maps, they'll be able to see reviews of people who have come into your restaurant. And they have different badge levels. So if you get someone who's a level 5, which is the highest level right now, reviewing your place, they're the ones who get invited to summits and can have more weight on your rating. So those are some of the examples within Google. If you watch the other video, there's notifications, your Facebook group, shares your page, likes. Facebook, there are a number of mini rivers feeding into Facebook. You've got your foot traffic, which is getting tagged when they enter your estuary so you can re-engage them. Then you have things like Open Table, which when you sign up, they're already emailing people and running ads on your behalf to people inside this sea. So Open Table is being your ambassador in the sea of customers. Now this abacus right here we were talking about is going to be your Google Analytics tag. So what you can do with this is you can put the tracking code or snippet in the order complete page. Or once a fish has signed up to your autoresponder, that can be one tag creating one tally. On this first line of the abacus, it's keeping track of how many people have entered your estuary. Then another line on the abacus is keeping track of how much they spent on average in your estuary. Then another line on the abacus is saying this is how much we spent to keep this river open. Could be zero, could be whatever. You're able to reference it. And there's one of these tags on each river, on each connection point, you've got information coming in where on a daily basis you can check how your ecosystem is performing. Now, we talked about being able to put hooks and nets out here. Okay, these are your gift cards, which can be placed in each river. These are your subscription opportunities, your club fees. So people have mug clubs. Well, the ability to purchase your mug club can be put, you can have a mug club here, a mug club here. Within each pathway of fish, you can have the opportunity to join the mug club by a simple link. Or they do a transaction with a person. Your restaurant team is in your estuary, and they hand them cash. They hand them the opportunity to join the mug club, or your diners club, or whatever. We've seen restaurants have apps, which are essentially people being added to their estuary. And within the calendar of the apps, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and on, on Monday, there's the opportunity to send out to your fish that it's Reuben Day. And you can get a $10 Reuben or 2 for 1 or whatever deal makes financial sense to the customer. You can communicate it to them from your autoresponder because they've been added to your database. And you can close off these rivers when you feel like it because there are fish in your database, and you don't have to be bullied into renting these rivers. Then we have our written list of activities which bring in revenue to the restaurant. These are the exchanges we want to see happen from the customers. So, whether it's getting a cup of coffee or come to trivia night, come watch the sports game, bottomless drinks with a burger. This is your playground where you can write out all the things in your restaurant that they can come in and do within your restaurant. There's pull tabs, there's wine tasting, there's getting around for the group. So you having hooks and nets essentially laced throughout all these bodies of water. And of course it's catch and release. We're not hurting people because they're just getting recycled through the process. And then once you're getting fish from your estuary, you have revenue to decide what else you're gonna do. And that's completely your business what you do with it. These are just the available resources to us or to you. Then there are associations like meetup groups, business networking, people who want your venue. You have the space people want to come to and have their gatherings within. So once you connect with the leaders of these organizations or email them, text message them, which doesn't cost you like an ad would, and you can control the cost of your ads based on what you want to put into it. And then these associations and groups define your restaurant as the spot to gather. And then there's ritual attendance within your estuary from these groups who gladly bite on your hooks regularly. And it becomes a ritual to attend your estuary. Sure. Now that you have the ecosystem, you can put your incentives into the calendar, which get communicated to the fish throughout the entire ecosystem because they've already got the communication capabilities connected, and then you can gauge what it produces. So hope this gives you something you can use. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Email me at Sean, SEAN.VanOsdale, VANAUSDAL at SeanVanOsdale.com. So it's my first name, Sean, dot my last name, Van Osdale, VANAUSDAL, at SeanVanOsdale.com. In Coach Accountable, you can also communicate with us there. Be sure to identify your cost per acquisition per customer so you can decide which river you want to participate in. And make sure you write out a list of the activities that bring in revenue for the restaurant so we can insert it in the calendar and use the accessible tools available to us to lace hooks and nets around the bodies of water. Cheers, you. Any questions, bring them up, and have a great day. You can talk about anything.